Good morning, students. So today we are going to look at The Fool and the Rat by Joanna Nadine. So this is page red. Is that? Now before we start, I'd like to remind you to please go and read this book on Active Learn. I sent this book on your Active Learn account. Please check into your Active Learn account and read the book. Because if you don't read the book, you are going to find it hard to answer the questions. You will not have any know how to predict what might happen next, and you might not know how to discuss the book. Okay, so let's get started. We had reached on page 10, and as we were reading, we came to realize that Mr. Schumann wanted to give this class a pet so that they can practice on how to be responsible and be tolerant. And therefore, Miss Patterson decided that the pet was a brilliant idea and they were going to vote on which type of pet they're going to have in their classroom. So now let's read. Only then Miss Patterson decides that the pet should teach us about tolerance as well, i.e., we should get an animal that is unpopular for no good reason. So then everyone starts to have brilliant ideas about what pet to get. E.g., Luke Bruce thinks we should get a shark and Cosmo thinks we should Cerus Rex. Only Miss Patterson says we cannot fit a shark into the classroom. Okay, so and I can remember I asked you a question, why do you think Ms. Patterson said that they cannot fit a shark into the classroom? And many of you were saying that the shark was too big. Okay, I think the shark isn't a good idea as well because it's big, and then another thing, it is a dangerous animal. Actually, you cannot have a dangerous animal in the classroom because it can be harmful to the students. Nice. So now let's read. And Tyrannosaurus rex are extinct and dead. That means that they do not exist. Okay. So Bridget Grimes, who is top of the class, and Mr. Schumann's favorite, says we should get a rat. Okay, so which animal do you think they are going to get? Which animal do you think they're going to choose for their classroom? Okay, so now let's find out. Because they're actually clean and clever, i.e. like her. And Miss Patterson agrees, and the next day there is a rat in where the locust used to be, which is when Miss Patterson says we can each put a name in a hat, only it is not a hat. It is an old point pot. And she will put one out is what we will call him. And it has to be a boy's name because it is a boy rat. So no princesses, please. So I put in Ichabod, which is what my dad wanted to call me. Only mom said no because it is too weird, and also I am not a boy. And Cosmo puts in flame. Okay, so far we can see they're trying to look for a name that they can give their pet. So which name do you think they're going to give this pet? Okay, so I would like you to find out. Only Miss Patterson does not pull those names out. She pulls out Rooney, which was Henry Pot's idea. So Cosmo gets crows because Henry Pot is his mortal enemy, and he throws a rubber at him. And Henry throws a pencil tin bag back and it hits Ronnie's glass tank. And Ronnie squeaks and they both get sent to Mr. Schumann. So why do you think they're being sent to Mr. Schumann? Why do you think Rooney and Henry is being sent to Mr. Schumann? So do you think they're going to be in trouble? Okay, so time for you to find out. So you can see this is the glass tank and this is Rooney. Okay, this is the pet that they're going to in their class, and this is the pet they're going to use to help them practice on how to be responsible and tolerant. Okay, so now let's go to another page, the next page, which is page 14. So as we are waiting for the page to load, do you have a pet at home? If you do have a pet at home, do you have a pet at home? If you do have a pet at home, what exactly do you do with your pet? What exactly do you do with your pet? Okay, so I would like you to think about. Mr. Schumann says their punishment is that they are disqualified from looking after Rooney and some responsibility. Only Cosmo says Rooney is supposed to be teaching them responsibility. So if they don't look after him, how can they learn it? And Henry Potts agrees, even though he is a mortal enemy, and also says Mrs. Schumann is being intolerant. Only Mrs. Schumann does not agree and says, okay, so Mrs. Schumann doesn't want the boys to take the pet with them. So what do you think he's going to tell the students? Okay, time for you to predict. So they will be disqualified forever if they do not pipe down, which they do, and they decide that Mrs. Schumann is their mortal enemy for the moment, and they will not throw rubbers at each other for at least an hour and a bit. So then Miss Patterson makes the rest of us write our own names on a piece of a paper and put those into the hat that is not a hat. Now, why do you think Miss Patterson makes the class to write their names on a piece of a paper? Why are the students writing their names on a piece of a paper? Are they going to take those names to Mr. Schumann? Are they going to use those names to get the pet? So it's time for you to think and then tell me the answer. Okay, so we can see so far. So far, you can see the children. They have already voted for the pet, and they voted for a pet which was a rat, and now they also voted for a name to give the pet, and the name now is Rooney. So the next thing is they want now to write their names on a paper so that Miss Peterson can pull out one name, and that name that name of the student that will be called is the student that will carry the pet home and practice on how to be responsible. So let's find out who is actually going to get the pet. Who is going to get the pet? Okay, and she will pull name out, and that is Pet Rooney for the first week. And unbelievably, it is my Penelope Jones, and Ike Bridget is not pleased about this, and no son. Only she says the responsibility will do. I think Miss Peterson is not pleased that she picked Penelope's name. Why do you think so? That Penelope Jones will actually be responsible. Do you think she will take care of the rat? Look at her. She's happy and smiling. Now, do you think she's going to take good care of the rat? Okay. Now, let's see. And I think maybe tolerance will do her good. But I do not say it because I do not want to get sent to Mrs. Schumann and be disqualified. Only when I get home on Friday with Rooney in the glass tank, it is clear that Mom is not pleased either, because she says she is up to here with Barry, who is Grand's cat, and who has eaten the last of the cheese again. Even though Mom has told Gran it is cat biscuits and cat biscuits only. And Daisy, who is my sister and is very irritating, and who says she will die if she doesn't get a pony like Lucy B. fingered. Okay, and so the last thing she needs is more animals, hoo-ha, especially with a filthy rat. So I tell her he is not filthy. He is in fact clean and clever. Okay, so now tell me, do you think that Penelope Jones is actually going to practice on how to be responsible by taking good care of the rat. Okay, and now I would like you to tell me, why do you think so? So we've read up to page 17. I would like you to retell the story from the beginning up to where we've reached. What happened first, and then next, and then finally, what are we in right now? So have a nice day and bye!